Hey guys, it's Jake here with eTrailer. Today we have a 2024 Chevrolet Equinox, and we're going to be taking a look at, and I'm going to show you how to install the CURT Class 2 1.25" hitch receiver. Adding a hitch receiver to the back of your Equinox is going to allow you to haul different accessories such as bike racks, cargo carriers, or ball mounts if you want to pull a small trailer. I will say if you're planning on pulling a trailer, you will want to install a wiring kit too so that you can get your trailer lighting functions from your vehicle. One of the biggest reasons why people like to go with an 1.25" by 1.25" hitch receiver tube is because they already have accessories from an older vehicle that they had an 1.25" hitch receiver. Me personally, I would go with one of the 2-inch hitch receiver tube options for the Equinox because it has a pretty impressive tow rating, and if you ever want to pull a trailer, you can do that with it. You're also going to have more options for bike racks and cargo carriers if you go with the 2-inch hitch. The 1.25" has plenty of options for bike racks. It's just when you get into cargo carriers, they're going to be more limited. This hitch is going to feature a 1/2-inch hitch pin hole, which accepts a half-inch hitch pin and clip. This hitch will not come with a hitch pin and clip, but we have plenty on our website if you're looking for a locking or non-locking hitch pin. The safety chain loops are going to be nice, wide open safety chain loops so that you can fit safety chains of many different styles and sizes for pulling those trailers. Now some measurements so you know what you're getting. From the center of our hitch pin hole to the outermost part of our bumper is about 5 inches. You'll want to compare that measurement to any accessory. You'll use the center of the hitch pin hole and the accessory to the closest part of the accessory when folded up or installed on the vehicle. That'll tell you whether or not that accessory is going to clear or hit the back of your car so that you can get a good idea of which is going to fit best. From the ground to the top inside of the receiver tube is about 11.25 inches off the ground. That is low enough to where I would look into accessories for your bike racks or cargo carriers that may have a little bit larger rise so you don't have to worry about the accessories dragging on the ground. Now when it comes to hauling those bike racks, cargo carriers, and other accessories like towing a trailer, there are some weight capacities that you'll want to keep in mind. The max tongue weight capacity of this hitch is going to be rated at 525 pounds, and the max gross trailer weight capacity that it can tow is going to be 3,500 pounds. So keep those numbers in mind. You'll want to compare them to the numbers that your vehicle is capable of carrying. So look in your owner's manual, check your year, make, and submodel. The submodel is usually the determining factor of what determines what the vehicle can handle. So compare those numbers between the hitch and your vehicle and go with the lowest numbers between the two of them. But with that being said, let's go ahead and show you how we put it on. To begin our installation, we're going to need to lower down our exhaust to give ourselves a little bit more room to work. We're going to have a strap that we'll put on our springs. We'll just hang it from each spring to each spring underneath our exhaust so that when we go to drop it, the exhaust is still supported. But we'll take a 15mm socket. There's 2 bolts here that are holding on our exhaust hanger bracket on each side of the vehicle. We'll take a ratchet and get those removed. With those bolts taken out, we can take this plastic piece and just kind of spin it around so that it can drop down. We have one more hanger that's going to be right in the center of our vehicle. We'll take some soapy water and spray it on each of these connection points. Sometimes it's easier to remove the top than the bottom or vice versa, so we'll just kind of test it out. We're going to use a pry bar in order to do this. There we go. Just like that. And then we can take our cam buckle strap and just loosen it up a little bit to get this to drop down. Take a T15 Torx bit. We're going to have 2 screws we'll have to remove here to give us a little bit more room to work with the rear fascia. One will be here on the outside and the other one will be here. To lower our exhaust even more, we can pull out on the rear fascia one side at a time. I want to do this at the same time of loosening up our strap. Pull out on the fascia. If you can move this exhaust hanger down, lower that down below, Do the same thing to the other side. Just like that. And this will give us more than enough room to be able to slide that hitch up into there. Take a step bit drill and we're going to open up the access hole until our hardware fits. And you just want to make sure that the carriage bolt will fit up in there and the spacer block. So now that we've got it open to that, we'll take some clear coat and spray it on there to protect the metal. We just don't want any rust or corrosion to form where that bare metal is. Now we're going to take our fish wires. For the back two, we're going to do a little different than the front one. The back two, we're going to thread the fish wire on to our bolt and spacer block first because they're so close to this access hole. For the back one, you'll just want to measure it out, put a slight bend in it, and then put another bend so it can come down and out of the hole. Go up and come out. And then we'll pull down on the fish wire. You want to throw that spacer block up in there first. Then throw your bolt up in and pull it out of the hole. And we'll do the same thing for this hole, and then we'll show you the technique for the back one. For the rearmost hole, we'll take our fish wire and we're going to go through the hole first and come out of the access hole. This one's a little bit trickier to do. But you can reach up in here, feel for the fish wire, and then just kind of lead it down. You want to leave it about 50-50 on both sides. Put our spacer block on and then thread our bolt on. Throw it up in there, and if your access hole is not quite the size you want it to, you can slide up the head of the carriage bolt first, and then pull it the rest of the way. With an extra set of hands, it's going to make it a lot easier to lift it up in place. We're just going to slide it over top of our muffler. Ethan has given us a hand today. It's just kind of awkward to be able to do this by yourself. If you're doing it from the ground, it might be a little easier actually. We'll take our fish wires, feed them through. Now you don't have to use the fish wires, it just kind of helps to guide them in place. If you've never done one before, what could happen is you lift it up into place and you'll push the bolts back up into the frame. We'll lift it over top of our studs we got up there, and then just pick one to pull down. Rip that fish wire off, and then thread on your flange nut. Come back with a 3/4 inch socket and snug all these down. Come back with a torque wrench and torque all of our hardware down. If you need a torque wrench, you can pick one up off our website, or typically you can go to your local auto parts store and you can rent one pretty cheap. With everything torqued down on our hitch, we can take our exhaust and put it back up the way that we removed it. We'll come back with our screws and replace them in the bottom of our bumper. Now once you get everything safely reattached, that's going to do it for our installation. Hopefully this video helped you decide whether or not the CURT Class 2 Trailer Hitch Receiver is right for your 2024 Chevrolet Equinox.